Today we'll be visiting our friends over at Hope for One. We're going to be working out a social media strategy for their Instagram account, and then after that we're going to bring it back here. I'm going to provide some free Instagram templates for you guys and then show you a tutorial on how to edit them in the latest Photoshop. So stick around. Thank you. Today is Tutorial Thursday, and what I want to show you guys is something that us over at Branded Humans have been doing a lot so far. So Branded Humans has pretty much been around for 3 years now, and it's a digital agency where we started doing branding, logos, stationery, identity, and then also websites. We've seen a shift to now where social media has become half of our business. 50% of our revenue and our time is put towards social media. Where 3 years ago people would invest more into their websites, now they're taking that money and investing it in their social media. It's crazy. What I want to show you today is how to make a simple social media campaign with 9 posts, and we developed a very simple pattern that really all it does is that it allows you to have your feed look cohesive and unified. So my program of choice is Photoshop. I've been using Photoshop since I was 16 years old, so that is 10 years now, going on 11 years, and it is amazing. All the things that it does is just powerful. Throughout the years, I've expanded to then move on to Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, and really the whole Adobe suite. And in more recent years, I've been using Sketch and other user interface apps, but no program does everything I need in one like Photoshop. So I'm going to open up Photoshop here. First thing we're going to do is create a new document. We want to make the document 1:1 ratio, so 1080 by 1080. We're going to give it a name, Social Media Campaign. And don't worry, I'm going to include all the files in the link below. We do it in pixels, 1080 by 1080. The orientation doesn't matter because it's a square. And this is something new that Photoshop did that I'm really happy that they included now. This used to only be in Illustrator, and artboards is simply different boards that you can create so you can pretty much make multiple graphics in one document. And Photoshop didn't have this before. They do now, and I'm super happy about it. So we're going to go ahead and check that. And then the background, I like making the background transparent so then we can add a color later. That's just my preference. You can also make it white or make it black. And we're good. We're going to create a document. Perfect. So here we see artboard, artboard 1. So first thing we're going to do is rename this. And now we're going to go ahead and make 8 more artboards so that we can make a full feed. The way we do this is we click on the artboard name and we literally click one of these plus buttons. The way I'm going to do it so that it looks like an Instagram feed, I'm going to add them this way. So we got 1, 2, 3. Let me zoom out. There's our 3 artboards. And I'm actually going to give them a different name. Campaign 1, Campaign 2, Campaign 3. We're going to come back here, click on the title, add a new artboard, and you see how we added it over here? We're going to go ahead and move it up so we don't get confused. 2, 3. We're going to come back to this artboard, add it above, drag and drop it up here. 5. Okay, perfect. I'm going to rename this campaign 4. And I'm simply numbering them this way so that I know what order we're going to post them in. Mind you, you can name these artboards whatever you like, whatever makes sense to what the project that you're doing. Perfect. So now we're going to fill in each artboard with its own graphic. One basic pattern that we use is photo, quote, photo. So we're going to have photos all up this column, all up the right column, and all up the left column. And then in the middle, we're going to have quotes. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get all the backgrounds for the middle columns. So the way that we add a background is we select the artboard that we want. Right now it's campaign 2. And we go over here to the 4th button, which is the adjustments layer, create new fill or adjustment layer. Select that, solid color. Now we have a solid color, now we have a background. I'm going to make it black just so that it pops. We don't have to do that for the other artboards. We can literally just copy it. So we do that by holding Alt or Option, depending on if you have Windows or Mac, and you're going to copy it to the designated artboard. So we want to copy it to campaign 5 and campaign 8. You got campaign 5, campaign 8. Perfect. We're going to have quotes all in the middle row. So now we need to find 6 images for the right and left column. I'm going to show you a website that I really like for stock imagery. It's free stock imagery, royalty free and free to use. You can use these without getting into trouble. It's high resolution, really high quality. I love the way these look. They're not your typical stock photography. So you can search for anything you want. Since November's coming up, let's do a fall campaign. We're going to literally just search fall and let's see what comes up. Oh, this is great. You see, already we see very nice imagery. So here I'm just going to randomly select 6 that I like. I like these leaves. I like this one with the pumpkin. I like these socks. This is cool. I like these vibes with the marshmallows. That's really clever. Ooh, this is nice with the road. Yeah, I like this one. Here we have 5 so far. Let me see if there's anything different. Ooh, that's a nice one. You see, I always find great stuff here on Unsplash. Okay, perfect. So we have our 6. What I'm going to do is organize these 6 photos that we got into a folder so I can reference them later. I'm just going to title it Stock Photography. Perfect. So now we have the photos in stock photography. Now one by one we're going to drag them into our files. So I'm going to select the artboard that I want, and then I'm literally just going to drag and drop the image that I want. So let's see, which one do I think I'm just going to go in order here to make it simple. Okay, so as you see, we dragged it here, but it doesn't cover the full artboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to literally just scale it up to fill the whole space. And then we're going to press enter. Then, as you see, I just centered it. The way you do that is you press and hold. Since we only want to move it horizontally and not vertically, we're actually going to hold shift and then move it to the left. And as you see, the guides came up, so that's perfectly centered. Perfect. So now let's go to the 3rd artboard. Drag and drop. Same thing. Going to expand it. Perfect. Centered. Campaign 4. So you can press campaign 4 over here on the right hand side, or you can press the artboard directly. Both ways work. expand. Perfect. This is looking really nice. Oh, I love this photo. Okay. Now we have this one. Whoops. You see how I didn't select the campaign that I wanted, and it's over here? I'm actually going to show you. So I can literally just click and hold and then drag it to the campaign that I wanted. But you see, now that I did that, I can no longer edit it. So what I need to do is put, if you're on a Windows, you put Control-T. If you're on a Mac, you do Command-T. That's called the free transform tool. So now you can expand it. Ooh, that's nice. And lastly, the last photo. Again, I didn't select my artboard before moving it. So I'm just going to drag and drop it. So in order to drag and drop, you have to press Enter, then drag it over, and then press the Command-T or Control-T, depending if you're on Mac or Windows. Perfect. Very nice. Here we have all the images. This is looking like a really nice feed. This is a really nice fall campaign. Now we're going to put quotes in the middle. First thing that we need to do is select the artboard that we want. So I'm going to start with Campaign 2. And now we use the Type tool. We can access it from the left bar here, or we can use the keyboard shortcut T. I like using keyboard shortcuts. It's faster. So now we have the Type tool. The way that we can make type is one of two ways. We can make free type, which is with no bounding box, just by clicking. This is cool just to make quick text. And then after you have what you want, you press Command Enter or Control Enter. That's one way. But another way is to create a bounding box so it has parameters that it has to stick within. And that's what we're going to do. So now the text that I make is going to stay in here. And as you see, Photoshop entered its own dummy text. We zoom in here. I'm going to create, we're actually going to use, I like Open Sans, but we're actually going to use Helvetica. Let's see, Helvetica New is really nice. There used to be a phrase in design that said, when in doubt, use Helvetica. Put it over here, and we'll kind of, you see here, I'm using the freeform type because I don't need long text. I'm actually going to select this type and bring it up. I can do that by selecting it here in the layers, and then holding Shift, I'm going to press the up arrow. What this does is that it moves whatever you have selected by 10 pixels. Then I'm going to select this, select my previous quote, and make another quote next to it so it can be a closing quote. I'm going to hold Shift and copy this, cut it. You can use the keyboard shortcut Command X or Control X. Then I press Command Enter or Control Enter to get out of there. I'm going to make another freeform text over here. Perfect. Command Enter. There we go. And let's adjust this. So the way that we adjust text is, first we got to make this into Helvetica. Let's make this Helvetica New Regular. So the way that we can edit text is one of two ways. We can go up here and we have some selections, but to get the full selection, we have to use this panel over here. And if you don't see a character panel, then you go to Window and click Character. And once you click that, this will show up. So I'm going to write some text in here. You see how there's all this line height? In design, we call this leading. And this goes back to the old print days where you would literally physically put all the text on a press. So right now mine is set to 100. Whatever yours is set to, you can fix that there. A good rule of thumb is 10 more than whatever your font size is. So this font size is 50, so I'm going to make the leading 60. Perfect. And I'm actually going to give it another 10. 20. Cool. So now let's go over here and let's find some fall quotes. We need 3 of them. Let's see. Goodreads always has some good quotes. Autumn is the second spring when every leaf is a flower. Aha! That's pretty cool. Let's use that. So there's one. Press enter. I think these quotations are too far out. I'm going to actually bring them in. How would they look if they were actually closer? I'm not loving this. What if I expand this bigger? Kind of like an oversized quote. Kind of like that. This looks good. Let's actually center this text. So we can, if we press Command A or Control A, or we select the whole thing manually with the cursor, we can then align it center with this tool up here. I'm actually going to add the dash here. The text went away, so I'm going to have to expand the bounding box. Perfect. Yeah, I like that better. You know what? I'm going to get rid of these oversized. Yeah, let's keep it simple like this. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the name 10 pixels smaller and give it a bold. Perfect. That's clean. Okay, so next I'm going to actually copy them into the next artboards that we need, which in my case will be Campaign 5 and Campaign 8. So here's my text. I'm going to hold Alt or Option, depending on Mac or Windows, select, and then bring it up. See? And I just copied it right away. Then the next one is Campaign 8. Copy it. Boom. There we go. All right, let's find 2 more quotes. I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers. Ooh, that's so good. I love fall. Don't you love fall? Yeah. My wife loves fall. If you didn't hear her, my wife is over there saying yeah. She loves fall. I think that's a very New York thing. I think everyone loves fall, no matter where you are. Even if you're in Florida. You love those few cool days when you can bring out your jackets. I think fall fashion is the best. Okay, last quote. Let's see what she says. I was telling Claire, no, I don't like that. I would rather sit on a pumpkin and have it all to myself than be crowded on a velvet cushion. I don't even know what that means. Okay, J.K. Rowling. Autumn seemed to arrive suddenly that year. The morning of 1st September was crisp and golden as an apple. Well, that was beautiful, but not for my campaign. No spring nor summer beauty hath such grace as I have seen in one autumn face. Ooh, this guy is something else. Perfect. Center this. All right. That's a nice fall campaign. Here we go. So now we're going to save out our file. First, we're just going to save out the Photoshop file so that we can access it later. It already has the name that we gave it in the beginning, Photoshop. The layers is clicked. I'm going to just go ahead and click save. Maximum capacity, yep. Good. Perfect. Now what we have to do is save out each of these independently, okay? So we're going to go up here to File, Export, and then Export As. And this is going to bring up some options. By default, it has a bunch of PNGs. Now PNGs are good because they're nice and high quality. However, for Instagram and for a lot of social media like Facebook and Twitter, having that much quality is actually a bad thing, because for optimization of the internet, these platforms compress our images if they're too big. So it's better for us to compress it before they get it. That way they don't do the compressing. So what I'm going to do here is I have one selected and I'm going to hold shift and click the last one so then they can all get selected. I'm going to switch from PNG to actually JPEG, and see, this already reduced the files significantly. I'm going to take it one step further, and the quality, I'm going to take it from 100% to 70%. Now, I know this seems wrong, but trust me, if not, Instagram is going to do their own compressing and you're going to get some funky stuff. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to hit export all, and it's going to bring up the last folder that you used. So let me go back and find mine. Perfect. What I like to do is I like to create a new folder. I'm going to call it posts. I'm actually going to call it feed posts. In the next tutorial, we'll talk about story graphics. So feed posts, open. Really quickly, bam, saved. So now if we go to our folder, here are all our feed posts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a full campaign. 3 rows with 3 images each. That's clean. So that's how we make a simple social media campaign. So that was the first Tutorial Thursday. And actually, when I first wanted to become a designer, I would go on YouTube and search different things that I wanted to learn in Photoshop or in Final Cut or in the different programs that I wanted to learn. And other people, like what I'm doing right now, would record videos and teach you how to do it. So it feels good being on the other side of that and kind of give back to the community. I hope you got some value, and please let me know what you want to learn. Whether it be design, photography, music, filmmaking, whatever it is that you want to know, I want to be able to share what I've learned throughout the years with you. So let me know, give me any feedback, and take care. Thanks for watching. Until tomorrow.